Hey everyone, welcome back to another Project Flight video. This is the first time I am using my voice, and in future videos I will be using my voice during some gameplay. We are Flight Emirates 3566 flying from London to Punta Cana. I'm gonna be basically showing you my way of flying in this game, and if you don't have that much knowledge on how to fly in this video, that will explain it just fine. So as you can see here, before pushback, I am checking the flaps, just making sure they work right, and my spoilers, and here I am just checking out the rudder. Now that everything's checked off for flight, we will be pushing back on our way to the runway. If you guys enjoy videos like these, please don't be shy to hit the subscribe and like button. It's free and you can always unsubscribe. Now that pushback is done, we will begin taxiing to the runway for departure. Currently, for my personal preference, depending on the flight time, for this route specifically, I fly to about 12,000 feet, around 470 to 480 knots max. It depends on really what type of aircraft you use to. Taxiing. Also, just note, when you are taxiing to a runway, you don't want to exceed over 35 knots for departure. It's not safe, it's not recommended, and in the game, of course, you can higher that knot speed, but realistically, aircraft do not go above 35 knots during taxi. Guys, make sure when you're turning, you are keeping your front wheel fully on the green line. I know it's not not too much of a problem, but for me personally, I like to play realistic with these type of games, so this video is more showing a flight and just, the tutorial for how to do flights like these. And there is currently an aircraft on the runway, as I saw, so I just took a minute to pause. I'm pretty sure the person is DC or is respawning their plane, so as you can see here, I am just taxiing now onto the runway, and I am going to find myself and get ready for takeoff. Ready for departure, so as you can see, my flaps are all the way down to the bottom position. The reason for that is when you are taking off on your plane with the air resistance, you want to have your flaps down. It basically creates a high pressure, low pressure system for your flaps and for your wings, and it allows you to take off. There we go, we have the throttle to the max, during our designated knot speed, and then we higher that create less drag. Flaps down system is mostly for takeoff and landing, so once we're settled in the air, we set our flaps back up to their default position. So now we're here just cruising to 12K, lowering the throttle speed down because we do not need that much speed for lifting up. As you can see later on, right before we get to cruise speed, I do up the throttle all the way back to 100%. I start using autopilot. I set the altitude that I want to cruise at, which is 12K, and eventually I set my heading so that my plane doesn't shift right or left. Autopilot from a couple minutes after takeoff to about one of the last stages of approaching on landing. After that, I manually use the controls to land, but autopilot is a really good tool. Don't think it's for newbies or anyone who doesn't know how to fly a plane. Autopilot is used in every type of aircraft, so it's good to know how to use it. Let me guys know in the comments what other type of aircrafts or airliners you want me to fly. I can fly anything you guys recommend. I'm very versatile. I don't mind any type of aircraft or airline. Now I am turning towards GCLP. On this route, I tend to take off from the same way on the runway in Gatwick, and then I cone in a continuous straight line, and I start turning over the island of Gran Canaria. I'm sorry if I worded that wrong. After I basically pass the island, I start my descending stage, as you can see pretty soon. I genuinely do not know what it was, but that only happened once, and the rest of the ride was fine. So as you can see here also, I am low nautic again. I normally land around 150 to 170 knots, and sometimes 135. It really depends on the aircraft, but you want to gradually lower your speed as you're getting closer and closer to the runway. This part here doesn't require much teaching, but basically I am just using the heading of my the runway. I will be learning landing on 09L, which is going to be the runway closest to the airport. Now I'm currently almost to the altitude. I normally like to control my own pitch when I am at this point. I am fly this one gradually than autopilot allows. That's why I am using my own for pitch. Again, if you have a low pitch, basically, I'm at a low pitch. I am setting down basically, the point of the airplane where it's pointing up or down. As you can see, I have lowered my landing gear. Normally around at 2,500 feet, you start to down landing gear. And I also put my flaps down. Putting my flaps down is going to help me with air resistance and help me land. When I get to around 1,000 feet, you're going to see me lower my flaps like I'm doing right here. And I'm putting my spoilers up very slowly. Now I am currently done with my autopilot, and I am going to be landing this Boeing 777 by myself. My cursor can go all over the place, but anything that I can do to align myself. Also use it and X, depending on what platform you're on. I am on the but if the rudders turn the airplane without weight, like I don't need to make turns, so I can turn with the rudder basically. Not a bad landing there. I could have done better, but that's okay. It's still classified as butter. I'll take butters any single day. And yeah, that is basically all. All I have to do is just taxi down to the gate, and that is pretty much the tutorial of how to fly a plane in project flight. that is basically it for today, folks. I appreciate you guys if you made it the whole way, or even if you watched a fraction of this video. It means a lot to me. I'm trying to grow, and I really appreciate any of the support. Have a good day, everyone.